With Cassie Hyder, you know, those stories about these national parks, they're such beautiful places to go, spend some time, but they can be dangerous, as we saw in California with that hiker.
You got to follow the rules.
And here in Texas especially, if you're going out to the park or you're going to be outside, I know we talk about it a lot, limiting your exposure. If you plan on taking a hike, wherever you may be, make sure you're packing lots of water in that Camelback.
Yeah, just be smart, be safe, and make sure to take all the necessary heat precautions today. We have another WFA weather alert day because of how hot and humid it will be once again. So that goes until 8 o'clock this evening because of just how hot and humid it will be again later this afternoon, where at times it could feel up to about 105 degrees. So what you need to do is limit your time outdoors, take plenty of breaks if you have to be outdoors for an extended period of time. Hydrate properly, wear the SPF, and of course always check the back seat. Here's the heat advisory for the Metroplex and areas off to the east. Now out to the west, there is not a heat advisory, but it's still going to be plenty hot there. This is our Clyde Warren Park camera, and it is gorgeous outside. Hard to see any clouds right now in this picture, but there are some clouds mainly west of the Metroplex. Right now we're at 80 degrees in McKinney, 82 in Denton, 77 in Waxahachie, 79 degrees right now in Mineral Wells. Later today, temperatures will likely climb into the mid and upper 90s. We're talking about 98 degrees in McKinney, 99 in Canton, 97 in Fort Worth, 95 later today in Granbury. And then overnight tonight, skies look mostly clear. Temperatures drop down into the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Satellite radar pretty quiet across the Metroplex. The chance of actually seeing any rain today across the Metroplex, that's going to be slim to none, very low. But out to the west, we do have a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Nothing severe, but from time to time there are some lightning strikes. You can see that just east of Graham. That is lifting due north. You can also see the showers and storms just west of Bowie. Those are also continuing to lift off to the north. So nothing severe by any means, and we're not expecting severe weather today. That chance of rain overall for this afternoon, the coverage remains low. Same story as we get into tomorrow. I expect to see a mixture of sun and clouds for your Monday. This is going to be 7 o'clock, and there's going to be about a 10% coverage of rain and storms during the day. I think we do it all over again on Tuesday. This time we're going to call it about a 20% coverage of rain and storms, 10 to 20, just kind of depends on where you are. But the overall coverage really is just going to be pretty low, so a lot of us will end up staying dry. By the time we get into Wednesday, now this is going to be 4 o'clock, so with the peak heating of the day, now those rain and storm chances begin to increase, so we are looking at about a 20% coverage of rain and storms once again. And by the time we get into Thursday, about a 10% coverage of storms. It looks like those rain chances will eventually start to move just to the south. So looking at the coverage of storms for the next several days, overall, that coverage is going to stay low, but the best time to get any rain this week, right now at least, it's looking like that's going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. By next weekend, we start to dry out once again. So for today, partly sunny. Temperatures are going to make it back into the upper 90s, but at times it could feel closer to the low 100s. Overnight tonight, under mostly clear skies, we're dropping down into the upper 70s, so warm and muggy. Tomorrow afternoon, we're back in the upper 90s. We stay in the upper 90s for Tuesday, but once those rain chances start to increase, the wind shifts to the north. Temperatures eventually start to go down. 93 degrees on Thursday, low 90s for your Friday, Saturday. By the time we get into next Sunday, temperatures start to warm up. But the second half of that 14-day, it looks warm, but not terribly hot. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Cassie.